When was the last time you were like an actual healthy weight?
Um, I'd probably say about 5 years ago.
And how much did you weigh then?
180.
Man,
But I,
that's not a healthy
well,
weight. That's no man.
you say it's not.
Don't. What is up, guys? I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Remember, if you want to skip me yapping, just use the timestamps. That's what they're here for. But today we are reacting to some good old classic Kevin Samuels, the GOAT, the Godfather. If you haven't checked him out, obviously go to his channel and so on. But today's video, oh man, this one is, whew, it's a classic. It's a certified hood classic because of the standards being set. But I'm not gonna talk too much. I'll get right into it, and I'll save most of my thoughts for the end. Hello. How are you? What do you got for me?
3 or 4 episodes over the last like couple of weeks.
Okay.
Um, Coming in, I was aware of, the whole movement of Black women getting back into their femininity, etc. But some of the rest of the stuff that you said kind of went beyond and past that. And I will admit as well, my feelings were hurt, very hurt,
What's that?
because of some of the categories that I kind of fit in.
Okay. Did it?
And go
Okay.
ahead.
Was it hurtful that I said it, or was it hurtful that you're in these categories?
I think it was hurtful, like just the realization that I'm in these categories because I had never really heard anyone put it like that before. And then, it kind of hits you with the realization that, okay, yes, I may have wasted time in my 20s and my 30s, et cetera, pushing my career. So I agree with a lot of, what you're saying, but then there's some things that I just still just can't, I guess,
Such
buy
as,
into.
such as.
Um, that women can't be career oriented and be a quote unquote boss and still balance with femininity and be successful kind of
Okay.
in a
Well,
relationship.
let's talk about it.
Um,
Women cannot balance femininity with boss having a career and what else?
uh, and being successful in a relationship,
Okay. So
balancing the two.
how many black women do you know who are feminine, bosses, married successfully?
I'd say maybe a handful.
You know them personally.
Yeah,
Are they married to black men?
yes.
And what do they tell
So
you
I,
about?
I wouldn't I wouldn't say it's a whole bunch, but like a handful.
Right.
Um,
Now, what so out of a handful, do you think why do you think it's only a handful? Why isn't it the majority?
I can honestly say I do think Black women need to get back into their femininity, but I still just question, do we have to necessarily give up that masculine energy part of us that allows us to go give up to chase our careers, chase our dreams, chase
Okay,
our
let's talk
ambitions?
about careers. My position is most women don't have careers. You have jobs.
Okay.
Um,
That I don't fall into that category.
I
So
said most women. I didn't say
yeah,
okay, but what do if you look at the jobs that women hold? The top two employers of black women are the federal government and retail.
correct.
Those are not careers; they're jobs. If you look
Okay.
at the top six positions held by black women, the only people that are lower are Hispanic women, and that's because they do a lot of domestic work. A lot of times, black women will self-aggrandize stuff that's not calling themselves bosses, and they're just a one employee. They're sole proprietorship. You're not a boss. You have a business. You don't see many plumbers calling themselves boss dudes. They have a plumber. So why? Okay, the issue with do you want? Okay, would you like to be married?
I would, yes.
Would you like to have children?
Yes.
Okay. Um, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
Honestly, for me, I'm open to either way just because I've
I'm asking you
amassed
what
enough
you want.
capital.
Now I'm asking you what you want, not what you're open to.
Probably for a time, maybe the first like year or so, and then I'd be willing to go back into the job, well, not
How,
job force, but
how many
back
children do you
into the
want?
economy. One is good for me at this point,
No,
due to my age.
no, one child. That's a horrible thing to do to a kid. I'm an only child. That's a horrible thing to do to a kid. Raising an only
Okay,
child. How old are you?
I'm 39.
Okay. Um. So. Um.
I will,
let-
for the record, say that I have my eggs frozen, so this whole danger zone stuff doesn't quite apply to me.
Well, it still does. You know, you're past danger zone. There's no man's land.
Right, but I
So
took precautions ahead of time
okay,
for
but
that.
so have you known you wanted to be married for a long time?
Yes.
So why have you waited so long?
Um, I think part of that I'll take 50% blame on myself and 50% I put on the men that I've dated in the past probably weren't ready.
You mean the men you've chosen to spend your time with?
Yes.
See, see how that's I reframed that. You said the men you've dated, and I said no, the men you've chosen because you're a
Which is
professional
accurate. I did choose them.
right? Because you're a professional woman. So if you
Correct.
know what you wanted, and you're almost 40, your life is proven that you can't have what it is you say that you have a problem with me saying. You can't have it, and I'm here to tell all you women, you cannot have it all. Life is about choices and trade-offs, which is why you had to freeze your eggs because of choices you made.
Correct.
So I'm not being hurtful or disingenuous. Men know we can't have it all, and you women think you can have it all. And you cannot be a boss and be feminine and have a family and have all the upside and no downside. Who's gonna raise
I
your
would
who's
I
okay?
wouldn't necessarily say that there's going to be a downside. I think everybody knows that
Oh,
there's a
not really.
downside to
Okay.
everything.
Do you know
There's
anybody with children?
trade-offs. Yes.
All right. So you wouldn't mind going back to work. So after your child is 1 or 2 years old, where's that child going to be?
It's either going to be daycare or nanny.
Okay. And how much is daycare for a 1 or 2 year old?
Average daycare prices is about $675 a month.
Excuse me?
Average daycare cost
For
per
for
child
for
is
an
600.
for an infant?
That's across all age ranges. So you
Yeah,
have
you don't no
six
no you
weeks to 5 years old.
now five no you need that's closer to 2 grand, man. It's not 675. It's higher than that. Much higher than that.
Actually, this is the industry that I'm in, so I kind of know the figures on that.
All right. So let's take the numbers you're in. Okay, but I also had children too, so with respect. I mean, I'm not trying to have a pissing
Well,
contest
I'm
here.
just talking.
But
I'm
let's just
talking
but at the end of the
national
day,
average.
you would be working and someone else would be influencing your child in the developmental years.
Yes, I have no problem with that.
Okay, well, it's part of the problem we have right now because if you're in the industry, you know how important those tender years are.
Well, that's exactly why you vet someone that's can carry out the proper influence that you want.
Well,
So, and I think a lot of
oh,
it, and
there's a
correct me
there's a
if I'm
theory
wrong.
there's a theory part of it, but then there's a reality part of it.
Okay.
How long have you owned your own business?
So I just started a company 3 months ago.
And what did you do before you started this company?
Lead software engineer at a marketing agency.
All right. So if you were to get married, your husband would need to make how much?
Um, my range is probably like the bottom of that is probably like 80, not because of an income, like not dollar amount, but looking at quality of living. So I'm the type of person where I do like to
$80,000.
travel,
Okay, hold on.
go do
$80,000.
things.
Hold on. $80,000. What percentage of American men make $80,000 plus?
I would say that's probably maybe around 25 to 30%.
15.
Okay.
So half. And what do those men want from a woman? Do they want a woman who's 40?
I think it depends on the individual.
Of course, it always okay, ma'am. That always depends
I
on the
mean,
individual. It
right.
always depends on
Generally
the individual,
speaking,
but the more money a man makes, the more he wants. So
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Just listening to your channel, this is the first time that I've heard anybody, um, give that opinion that men, in that income bracket on up don't want 40-year-old women. And
well,
so,
are
and I
you?
say that because
But you're 39. All you have to do is know one thing that look at Hollywood. Look at men with money. And what do men with money, who do they pick after they have money? Do they pick older women? Do they pick women who are overweight? Or do they pick young, hot women? See, what I'm saying has always been there. We just don't like it. We just don't talk about it because women spend most of the dollars in advertising, and most media coddles you.
so you're talking about celebrities and
No,
things like that. Yeah.
I'm talking about men, period. Men,
Okay,
period.
so the men that I see from my purview, my perspective, I work in an industry where I'm around a lot of six-figure men, high six-figure men,
Uh-huh.
working with software engineers,
Great.
and they're not picking young
Hold
hot
on. Slow
women.
your roll, ma'am, because they're my clients. Have you ever asked
Okay.
these men what kind of women they want?
No, I haven't asked
Well,
them, but
then that's the
working with a
point. But
lot
see,
of
let me
them, I've
stop you
seen
right.
their
Let me stop you
wives.
right there. I have, because they're my clients. See, you ladies get this confused because you work with them. You think you know them. You know an employee. You don't know what he wants from a woman, but I tell you this, no man wants an older, overweight woman. The more money a man makes, what was it, Chris Rock? A man's only as faithful as his options. So the thing I'm saying, a lot of you women you can see it with your own eyes, but it never put two and two together. But have you ever asked yourself, why is a woman with my education, my background, my drive, and all this other kind of stuff unmarried? Or women like you? Take you out of the equation. Or women like you? Have you ever asked that question?
I have. I think the answer that I'd settled on would still deal with around the femininity issue and not, just like you said, being agreeable and
Well,
things of that
I would
nature.
tell you first, and I would tell you more than anything else, in Black America, it comes down to weight.
Okay.
How much does the average Black woman weigh?
Um, so I've seen your answer to this yesterday. So I think you said somewhere around 175, 80 pounds.
No, the average Black woman weighs closer to like 190 pounds.
Okay.
But have you ever asked any of the guys you date? Have you ever been proposed to?
I have not been proposed to, no.
Okay. What's the longest relationship you've ever had?
5 years.
Why didn't you marry that guy?
He was cheating on me.
In year one?
Years two.
And you knew it in
And
year two?
I found out in year two.
But you stayed for 4 more years.
We got back together off and on. So I would say it was a
You said
period
5
off and on
years.
of
You
5 years.
said 5
Yeah.
years. So I'm just going on your math. In year one, but year two, you found out he was cheating and you stayed for another 3 years.
I
Did
did
he
give
make more money
him
than you?
a sec. At that time, no.
Okay. All right. So I get why a lot of the things I say are harsh, because the reality is looking a lot of you women dead in the face. The men don't care about your income, your education, your career, your bossness, your divaness, and any of this stuff until the attractiveness is there. Then the femininity has to be there. Then the submissive and cooperativeness has to be there. Then all this other kind of stuff. But unfortunately, far too many of our women don't pass the fitness test. And that is something that 100% of them can deal with, but they don't. I mean, you're a plus size woman, right?
Yes, I am.
When was the last time you were like an actual healthy weight?
I'd probably say about 5 years ago.
And how much did you weigh then?
180.
Man, that's not a healthy
Well,
weight. That's no man.
you
Don't
say it's not.
tell me. Don't. I'm the image consultant. If you're come on. Sorry, you cannot. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
That
Yeah, this right here, she lost the plot. She lost it completely. If you want to skip me yapping, use the timestamps. But I gotta give my thoughts on this because this is actually insane. She said that her previous weight. She said that was her healthiest weight. 180 pounds as a woman was her healthy weight. That's what she considered healthy. 180 pounds. Keep in mind, a dude who's like 185, 190, who's got some good muscle and lean, he's already a pretty, beefy dude. And that's at 195. And that's with muscle. And that's on a man. So imagine how it looks on a woman, someone who's not built to carry that much weight. It goes beyond just the whole, the looks, the physical. Yeah, sure, the physical looks are gross. Let's just call it what it is. Fat is gross. Looking at, abs and stuff is, much more appealing. This stuff is just, you can hear me just stuttering because it shatters my mind. I don't know what world this would be at 180 pounds. 180 pounds. I mean, how is this how do you say this with a straight face without like saying I'm ashamed of it or something? Like, I mean, good God Almighty. Let's keep going.
Go ahead, make your case. I'll go ahead and counter.
So the case that I was going to make is that yes, there's the BMI. We all understand that. However, they're still healthy from a perspective of what do your medical doctors tell you?
So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me your medical? You mean to tell? So you mean to tell me as an airport? You mean to tell me that a medical? I want to be clear. You mean to tell me medical doctor? I need to hold on. Listen to the question.
You didn't let me finish telling you what.
Everybody's individual. I'm not just talking about BMI, man. How about this? Forget you individually. Should a woman weigh more than a man in her? Are you looking at YouTube?
I'm watching the screen.
Okay. Should a woman weigh more than should a woman weigh more than a man at her height?
Probably not.
What do you mean probably? No. Come on, can we be honest?
No.
So why say probably?
Because I really never thought about it.
But okay, how about this? Take it away from human beings, okay? Where in nature are the female mammals larger than the male mammals?
Probably not existent.
Okay, ma'am, you're an educated woman, and every time you say probably, it's a red flag. It's like you're not being honest.
Well, I say probably because there's always edge cases.
But edge cases don't disprove the norm. See, you're the software engineer and technical woman, and you still don't even want to deal with the realities. A 5'6" woman at 180 pounds, the average man is 5'9.5", weighs 168 pounds. At 5'6", 180, you weigh more than a man. And then when you look around at women of other races, do you see Asian women who are 5'6", 180?
No.
And that's what you said was a healthy weight. What's the most you've ever weighed?
Well, because you asked about me personally.
Right, but what's the most you've ever weighed? What's the most you've ever weighed?
The most I've weighed is 350.
3 what?
350, and I lost it.
Okay, so I get why this is hard, man, but okay, arguably, there is, unless you're telling me you had a medical condition, diagnosed thyroid, and my ex-wife had Graves' disease. So I gotta ask, why did you let yourself get to that almost 400 pounds?
So the truth behind that is childhood trauma, which I did had to go deal with. A lot of times, and what I do feel a lot of women don't like to admit is that the root cause of their overweightness is trauma, especially trauma stemming from like family of origin, etc., that has been left undealt with that we do need to go seek therapy for.
I don't doubt that there is a lot. I always talk about therapy on my channel, and mental illness is a big thing. But ma'am, come on.
No, I know. I totally agree with you on that point.
So,
But that was the
but
cause
what I
of
need you to
that.
understand is, as weight has increased with Black women, so has marital rates.
Hmm.
No one, and I get pegged as a asshole for pulling the truth out of women that you guys don't like to talk about. There was no, for whatever. There's no way to look around and say I should be that weight. And there's
No, 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 no,
hold
no,
on, and let me
definitely not.
finish. And there's and just like there are childhood traumas for women, there are childhood traumas for men too. But see, we don't give men excuses. The world tells men you ain't shit and you need to do better.
And that's going to be the end of the video, boys. I hope you have had a good time like I have, because I was laughing very, very, very hard at this. Some might say I was LMAOing, but to give you my final thoughts, I mean, I kind of gave them in the middle, but I mean, this woman is just another example of these delusional, especially Black women. Like, I'm a Black guy, so I see it, and I have family members who are, kind of embodying a lot of what these women who spoke to Kevin Samuels, were embodying as well. And it's like this behavior and this attitude of like, oh, I can do no wrong. Now I'm totally fine. Blah blah blah. Like, this woman thinks that her weight is. She thinks 180 pounds is healthy. That's scary. That's terrifying to me. I'm gonna call it what it is. That's terrifying. What in the flying F word makes you think that 180 pounds is normal? Like, these women, they gotta see their counterparts. And they gotta see like these Asian women. They gotta see these white women. They gotta see these women who are petite and who, I mean, like, their biology is not any different from a fundamental level. They just eat less food than they burn calories. I mean, like, that's really it. They put the fork down. These Black women, I don't even know, like, this feeding thing. It's like this feeding frenzy they grow up in, and they think it's normal. They think it's okay. They think that it's fine to be the size of a double-decker bus. They think that it's fine to be the size of a man. I mean, there's no thought for the practicality. Because what I'm talking about here is, like, let's say, God forbid, a woman who is, let's just try and be lenient. Let's say she's 210 pounds. That's pretty hefty. Honestly, let's say 190. Let's say a woman who's 190 is in a house and it's on fire, and she has to be rescued. And let's say the house is falling apart, looks like a movie. Wood hits the ground, and part of the ceiling falls down, and it's like, okay, boom, she's got to crawl through this narrow space. And for someone who is an average size, who's a normal size person, who's not carrying around two people in the size of a blimp, they'll be able to squeeze through. They might just barely be able to squeeze through, maybe a little bit extra room, but they'll just get through it. But for someone like that, they'll get stuck, or they'll be hurt or injured or something, and they won't be able to squeeze through. I mean, then what if they're able to be accessed by the emergency services? Then what are they going to do? Like, if they need to pick someone up and move them in an emergency situation, I mean, Jesus Christ, like, how do you move a 200-pound woman without struggling? Like, there's just no thought, there's no accountability, there's nothing. And then when people like Kevin Samuels called out, you have women who were happy that he croaked. I mean, you see women who were thanking God that he finally passed. And I'm like, all he did was just tell you the truth, and you didn't even want to hear it. Man, leave your thoughts, comments. Of course, I always want to hear them. I don't want an echo chamber. I definitely want to hear some nuance if you have it. But I mean, this stuff is insane. Just keep an eye on the channel. I post every day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.